Welcome to SBC 101, Fundamentals of Oral Communication, and I am your instructor, Brent Robinson. And I'm sorry I can't be with you on the first day, but I'm glad you're paying attention to instructions and to the course website found on my hills, or else you wouldn't have found this link to this video. You want to keep checking back to this website and the Learning Units section until we meet as a class in person, which I hope will be in a couple of days. So, as they say, please stay tuned. Now, the textbook for this class is Communication in Our Lives, the special Indian Hills edition that can be purchased in the bookstore. You'll notice this is loose leaf, so you'll need a binder or binder rings or something to keep all the pages from flying away and blowing away and losing them before you take a quiz on it. We'll use this book to frame our discussions, and quiz material will be drawn directly from these discussions, so you want to get the book. The book will also help us study the art of making public speeches. By the way, students are often concerned about how many speeches are contained within this course, and there's two. The first one will be an informative speech on cultures, and the second and final one will be a persuasive speech following a problem-solution pattern. We'll also do some shorter in-class presenting and solo and in teams, and I'll have a lot more to say on these assignments as they approach, but let me just stress right now that success in this class really does depend upon three things, really: showing up, reading the chapters as they're assigned, and completing both speeches. You fail to do one of those three things, and I fear very much for your success in this class. So we'll do a lot more discussion about the structure of the class when I get back and go over the syllabus with you live and in person. What we're about today, though, in Communication in Our Lives, is Chapter 1, The World of Communication. Go ahead and start reading that and try to get through the first half of it in the next couple of days. So read up to page 11 and up to the section that's labeled Breadth of the Field. This is all material that you can expect to see on the Unit 1 quiz, and the Unit 1 quiz will cover Chapter 1. And when I say plow through it, what I mean is this. I want you to interact with the text, read it, mark it up, and make it your own. Now a little bit about reading. The most successful strategy might not be to spend hours reading and rereading the same material. Have you ever spent a lot of time reading something for school and then walk away wondering, what the heck did I just read? I know I have. Learning comes not from just letting your eyes brush over some words on a page. I think it comes from digging in and spending more time thinking about what you've read than you might actually have spent reading it. So I encourage students that as they're reading to interact with the text, try to think up personal examples. The book says something is this way. Think about it. Is it really that way? Another strategy along these lines, of course, as you can see on the example on this slide, is to mark it up. Highlight passages. Record your questions in the margin, your answers to these questions. If you'll notice from this slide, there's a lot of different techniques being used, such as highlighting, asking questions, and basically taking some notes in the margin. Another strategy along these lines is to pay special attention to titles of chapters and headings and subheadings within those chapters. If you'll notice on the page on this slide, it's got Defining Communication in blue. Another strategy you can use with those is to turn these subheadings into questions like, well, what is the definition of communication? Then go ahead and read that section, and by the time you get to the end of that section, you should be able to answer that question: what is a definition of communication? Or maybe you want to go back and spend some more time with this section until you can answer the question: what is a definition of communication? Digging in and using the book, making it your own, will make the material that's in the book your own. That'll make quizzes easier. That'll make doing the big speeches easier. A couple of other helps that our textbook provides. You'll notice there's bold words. These bold words can be looked up in the back. Find something that works for you. Find ways of marking and highlighting using different colors, making notes. Whatever works for you is what works for you, and that's fine with me. But Again, going over and reading things for hours on end might not be the strategy that works for you. Finally, I want you to succeed on the quizzes and have a nice term. If you have a nice term, I'll have a nice term. So I provided some resources that might help with each unit. If you look under Learning Units, you'll see flashcards for Chapter 1. These can help you learn the terminology that will be used on the quiz and that's in the chapter. Also, you'll see a list of terms, Unit 1 terms. You might want to print that out and use it to record what the definitions are those terms are. Bring it to class. When you hear one being discussed, write it down. Showing up will help your grade guaranteed. And so you might want to know for this first quiz you'll be allowed to use 1 page of notes front and back as a study aid. It'll be a closed book quiz, but you'll get a lot of information on that 1 page of notes that you can use during the quiz. And note that when I say your notes, I mean your own notebook paper, not 30 photocopied pages out of the book or even my list of terms from the unit. So there's some help on the way. There's some help in the learning units that can get you through the quizzes and get you through this course. And I will continue to post flashcards and lists of terms under learning units along with some assignments along the way. By the way, speaking of assignments, your first assignment is to take part in a discussion forum which will close Wednesday at midnight. So since it's Monday, you want to get started on that. The name of that assignment is How Do You Generalize? It can be found here under Learning Units, and it's a discussion forum. You should post your own thoughts and then respond to a couple of your classmates' thoughts in the next couple of days. Again, please refer back to Learning Units for further instructions in case I'm not back by Wednesday. Good luck, and I hope we have a great term, and I really hope to see you soon.